Okay, so it is 11:56 p.m. on Friday, July 24th, 2020. All right, so we're going to discuss a topic that has been very important to me for a very long time. And this band has been in my life, basically my whole life. Um, in 4 minutes, it'll officially be 40 years since the release of the great and definitely most iconic and crucial album of rock and roll, Back in Black. So, I remember being a kid, little tiny girl, on my way home from school and to school with my dad, my real dad, and he said, "Hey kid, you want to hear some real music?" And I said, "Yeah." Of course, I had heard it before from him, and he put in the Atco CD of Back in Black. It's was like purple or pink with orange or yellow, whatever that was, and played Hell's Bells. When I first heard Hell's Bells when I was an actual little kid, that I could remember it. This is the time that I could actually remember, is what I'm talking about. Um, I actually said, "Wow, this is a great album." And my dad said, "Of course it is. It was created by AC/DC." And my dad was a big fan of all great rock music. And because of him, I am celebrating this album with you guys. So, for the next 2 minutes, because it is now 11:58 p.m. my time, we are going to talk about some of my greatest memories and some of the times that AC/DC and Back in Black have gotten me through. Alright, so, and I want to make a disclaimer, they are not in direct order. Direct order. But they are some of the most crucial points in my life. And some of them may sound made up because I never really discussed them before and I never really thought of it. But I'm going to tell you straightforward, they're not made up, because some of the things I'm about to tell you, I don't think anyone who has a sane mind would make up. Alright, so when I was a kid and my parents would leave me home alone, because they started leaving me home alone when I was about, let's say, I was about 7 or 8 when I first got to be home alone, and I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. So when I had to do my chores, because everybody started doing chores when they were 5 and 6 in my household, little chores though, I would put in the Back in Black album and play it through the whole house. And this was when we were living in South Carolina. And I can't tell you how many copies of that album we have burned through because of me loving it. And I still have a bunch of copies of it. I've got like 2 or 3 copies, and I don't plan on getting rid of any of them. I've got it downloaded on iTunes, and I've got it saved to my YouTube playlist. To me, this is one of the most important albums you can listen to as a rocker, or as someone who is getting into rock, if you're young or if you're not young. And when I started really getting interested in it, that's when I was discovering who I am. So, that's when I decided I would like to be a guitar player. And I'm still working on it. I'm not going to give that up, because Back in Black and every song on Back in Black, from Hell's Bells to Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, actually inspired me to learn to play the guitar. It's just getting me to do it is the hard part. But I know if my guitar heroes can do it, my forefathers and foremothers before me can do it. Of rock, I meant to say forefathers and foremothers of rock. Then I know I can do it. And my literal actual father played guitar in a band, but he was not famous, and he will never get to be famous. Because unfortunately, in January of this year. Ironically, on Malcolm's birthday, he passed away on January 6th, 2020, of cancer. I have already said that, I know, but he introduced me to this album when I was a little tiny girl. I was born to this album. My mom was literally in the bathroom having me because the ambulance for some reason didn't believe her when she said she was in labor with me. My brother brought in a radio and it was playing the album Back in Black. By the time I had actually popped out into this world, Hell's Bells started going off for the first time. That bell started going off. So it was literally the first song I ever heard in my entire life. And the entire time my mom was pregnant with me, she played every kind of AC/DC song there was. Black Sabbath song, you know, all the great artists out there. I'm not going to name all of them because I can't remember all of them, but mostly AC/DC. And I wasn't supposed to be born for another month and 3 weeks, so that's probably why they didn't believe her, and that's why they didn't send an ambulance till it was too late. But anyway, when I became a teenager, they helped me through some very hard times. In particular, this album, like, all the rebellious stuff I did as a teenager was not because of this album. When I got in trouble by my mom or dad or my stepmom or stepdad, I would listen to this album for comfort. When kids would bully me at school and teachers would bully me, I would just turn to this album for comfort. So I'm really here to celebrate the album with you guys in my own way by talking about how it has affected my life. And to this day, it is still a very crucial part of my life. Every time I get in my car, I listen to it on my phone. I haven't even attempted to put a copy in the CD player in my car. In fact, I didn't even know it had a CD player until like last month. I'm not kidding. I thought it was just a modern car that had the USB outlet and the auxiliary outlet, which it wouldn't matter anyway because you listen to good music no matter how you get it, through your phone, your CD player, or no matter what you got, vinyl record player, whatever it is. I have everything. That's why I know about all of them. Cassettes, 8-tracks, you know, all of it. And I'm pretty sure we do have a cassette of Back in Black somewhere. My dad, well, stepdad, I call him dad because he raised me from the age of 4 to this very day. But my real dad has been involved in my life. That's why I talk about my real dad more than him anyway. He gave me an entire case of cassettes because for Christmas 2018 I was supposedly going to get a cassette player that also played vinyl records of all sizes and CDs and Bluetooth, and it does play 3 out of 4 of those things, but it doesn't play cassettes. It plays 8-tracks, and I think we only have one 8-track, and it's of a band I'm not really a big fan of. So yeah. When we lost our home to that unfortunate accident, that first night we had to sleep in the RV because we had nowhere to go. We had no idea what we were going to do. I laid there and I listened to my iPod. I was listening to the Back in Black album all the way through until I actually had fallen asleep. And then I woke up the next morning, it died, clearly, so I plugged it into the charger that I got for my birthday. And as we were moving around trying to find a place to call home next, instead of just like keeping the house and rebuilding it while listening to the album Back in Black, I just got to play Back in Black all over the country and in parts of Canada. But mostly in the United States of America. And I'm just really like attached to this album. 50 or 100 years from now, that album will still be popular. 50 years from this date, that album will be 90 and we will still celebrate it. Our kids will celebrate it if we have any kids, or if I have any kids. Anyone who likes that album, or any AC/DC album, and who has children, which I know a majority of them do, they will listen to it. They will continue on the legacy of AC/DC, and they will pass it on generation after generation. I know that if I have kids, boys or girls, I might actually name them Malcolm and Angus. If I have 2 girls, I don't care. I'm still going to name them Malcolm and Angus because they're my daughters. If I have 2 boys, same thing, because they're my sons. So, and a lot of the makeup looks I do are usually rock inspired or inspired by how I'm feeling that day. But here is the most pinnacle, I guess you can say, I use that word right, I don't know. Anyway, here is the most important and probably the scariest time of my life where that album came in handy, was when we were traveling through Oklahoma back in 2013. You can already guess what I'm about to say is we stopped to visit my aunt, ironically on the 31st of May. We had our drive camper at the time, and my mom needed to go to the store. And she said, "Do you want to come with us in the camper to go to the store, or do you want to stay at your aunt's house and watch TV?" I stayed at my aunt's house and got a tornado warning for that big tornado that hit. So, I grabbed my jacket and my purse and my shoes, and I had them ready because, in South Carolina, we do get the cry of wolf effect tornado warning, but we are no strangers to them, but we're not like the Oklahomans are. They're definitely no strangers to them either. We get the cry of wolf effect ones, and so do they, but they might get them more than we do, clearly. And that was one of the first things I grabbed was my iPod, and I shoved it in my purse at first. It was actually my phone, my iPhone 4S, I believe at the time, or 4, one of the two. Anyway, by the time I got everything ready and prepared to run to the shelter, my mom had texted me that the tornado was actually coming, and you need to be in her cellar. By the time I got my shoes on, the lights had went out in the house, and I was like, oh shit, this is getting really fast. So I grabbed my purse and I make a run for the out back door, and I pause for a minute, and I look to my right, and I see the tornado coming right at her house. And then that's when I just bolted for the cellar. I hurried up and opened up that cellar door faster than you can say the word cellar door. And in order to keep myself calm during that severe weather event, I listened to the Back in Black album, and I was praying at the same time. I know a lot of people think that you like AC/DC and you pray. I know it sounds crazy, but you can't stereotype all rockers to be the same. And you can't just say that women can't be rockers too, by the way. You can say that a rocker is a rocker if they're a man or a woman. I'm a rocker chick, and I always have been. And that song, Hell's Bells, became particularly special to me that day because when I heard those storm sirens go off, I knew that it was on top of us, literally. And that literally was like hearing hell's bells. And then by the time Back in Black had came on, it was so black inside the storm cellar from debris and all that crap. It was unreal. So that's why that's another reason that album is more special to me, because of that. It helped me literally survive really tough and hard times and life-threatening situations. It helped me grow up and mold me into the person who I am today. And when I started reading about the album and reading the history of the band, I became more fascinated by them. So, of course, I fell in love with them. I fell in love with the Young Brothers. I fell in love with Bon Scott. I fell in love with Phil Rudd, Simon Wright. I really love all the band members. Of course, I love Brian Johnson. No disrespect to Bon or Brian. I will defend both. If anyone's giving any one of them crap, I will go on there and defend the shit out of both of them. Because when you really think about it, you can't say one is better than the other. You can disagree if you want, and you can have a preferred singer, but really in your own mind, you know that's true. You can't say that one is better than the other, because without one or the other, there would be no AC/DC. Sorry, my throat cut out at that very moment. I hate when that happens, but that is what Back in Black means to me. And I hope this video was something that fascinated a lot of you guys. I'm sure I have more stories to share about Back in Black, but I don't remember all of them. I just remember some of the most pinnacle, or whatever you call it. I keep forgetting what that word means right off, so one of the most important ones, some of the most important times in my life, and some of the most definitely life-threatening times in my life. It was just there for me. Like, when I first started driving on my own, I was scared shitless. Back in 2018, I got my driver's license. I would not go anywhere without my mom or dad beside me. And now I can't. Now I will not let him in the car with me because they gripe about it too much. So, when I get in the car, I put on my seatbelt, I put on my air conditioner, or my heater, because I live up in a place where it gets cold now, as much as I hate to say it. I will hook up my phone or iPod to one of the outlets, and I will listen to any AC/DC album, really, but Back in Black is usually one of the first ones. If I know I'm going to go on a long car ride, I just usually let my whole playlist shuffle through. And on my Spotify playlist, when I'm playing games at night and it's just me up, I like to sit and listen to AC/DC. Vandenberg, Black Sabbath, Dio, Ozzy and Dio, both with Black Sabbath and as solo artists, clearly. And, it just means a lot to me. Music means a lot to me, but in particular, AC/DC. I know I have mentioned other artists in this video, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. I do not care, alright? Everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. I love AC/DC, and I will openly admit it. And I gotta tell you guys about something that I just remembered, even though I don't know how. Last year when I turned 21, I got drunk for the first time with a couple of my friends, and this time of legal age, I mean to say, because when I was a kid we did some drinking too, so clearly it wasn't my first rodeo being drunk or a little buzzed. But disclaimer, kids listening to this, I am not encouraging you to go buy alcohol or whatever. Do not do it. Your parents will catch you like I got caught, which is for another video. This one is celebrating the great iconic album Back in Black. I got drunk on a couple of different things last year because I was trying things, I was with my friends. It was a safe place, and I needed to relax because I was nervous about turning 21 for some reason. So I got drunk on some Jack Daniels and Fireball, and I had a little bit of wine, and ironically, Have a Drink on Me was one of the songs I played while I was dancing drunk at my friend's house. That was probably the funniest time of me listening to AC/DC. And it's just really cool, because like I said, they've been there for me through thick and thin, basically, especially this album that we are going to be celebrating today. And another thing that's very ironic is my aunt that I posted a video of me being at her showing earlier. She died on the 21st of this month. She's being buried on the 40th anniversary of Back in Black. So, literally tomorrow we will all be back in black. If I go. My mom says if I don't want to go, I don't have to. So I'm considering just staying home. I paid my respects today, so tomorrow I think I'm just going to sit home wearing an AC/DC t-shirt, listening to them, honoring her, because she was also into AC/DC, and she was also into religion and all that stuff. It was just really fun to share this stuff with you guys, because it's the 40th anniversary of an album that is so iconic that I don't think it's going to go anywhere for the next 1,000,000 years, maybe. And if it does, then that means that we somewhere along the line lost a generation. Like our parents think they did with us. My parents were big disciplinaries. So, yeah, that's why it was actually banged into our heads. Not really banged, I mean, metaphorically speaking. Rock and roll, they believed it made us behave better. So we were all literally born and raised rockers. That's why the first album I literally heard, the first thing I actually heard was the Hell's Bells bell going off. When I literally entered this world for the first time in my mom's bathroom. I don't know which bathroom it was. I don't want to know. I'm assuming it was the guest bathroom because it was the only one with a bathtub in it. But also they dressed me in little baby AC/DC clothes and stuff like that. They dressed me in girly clothes too. They alternated, like when they didn't have any choices, like when all my onesies would have baby spit up on it or something. I plan to do the same thing if I ever become someone's mom. Or I might just get a bunch of cats and name them after the bands, even if they are girls. I have one cat I named after Ronnie James Dio, and she answers to Dio. So, yeah. I'm sure there are plenty more memories of me listening to Back in Black I could share with you guys. Like, here's another one, and I think this will be the final one before I end this video and try to get it to upload. As you guys know, I started wearing makeup when I was 7 years old, right? Okay, well, if you didn't, now you do. That was one of the albums, that was the album I was actually listening to when I turned 7, and on the day I turned 7, I was allowed to wear my makeup. Like, the morning that I turned 7, or my birthday, I mean, my mom said, we will buy this makeup for you a week in advance to your birthday because you have the money for it now, but you are not allowed to wear it until your birthday. She let me play with it, but no one could see me with it on until then. I got up that morning, I showered, did my hair, which I really just do nothing special but put stuff in it and let it do whatever I did. I think I put it in a ponytail or a braid. And clearly I washed my face, and then I put it on and I dressed myself in a little AC/DC shirt and some black jogging pants. And that was the birthday album for the party, Back in Black. And also, when I was putting on the makeup, I was listening to Hell's Bells. And then I went all the way to, I think, Let Me Put My Love Into You. And then that's when, clearly, I stopped. So, like I said, they have been part of my life for a lot of great memories. In particular, the one where I did my own makeup for the very first time. My mom did it to show me how to do it, and then I did it myself because I was practicing for a week with the products that I purchased, and that was the song I chose to listen to because I had a little karaoke machine in my room that also doubled as a guitar amplifier and a CD player. So I just put the CD in and I put it on highest volume there was because I wanted to. And we celebrated my birthday that way. So yeah. Now that's my final memory, but I gotta say the one where I survived the Moore EF5 tornado was probably the scariest one while listening to that album. I wish I still had that phone because I actually had some footage of me in the storm cellar listening to it because I had two phones at the time, I'll say real quick. I had the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 4S. The 4S was my cell phone and it was stuck in my purse, and the 4 was what I was listening to my music on. That became my iPod. You know, the one that grew to 2.5 miles wide. It may not have been on May 31st, which I'm pretty sure it did. I'm pretty sure it was because there was multiple tornadoes that hit that area that week. But that was probably the scariest moment of me listening to Back in Black. And the other scariest moment of me listening to Back in Black was when I started driving myself around, and then the first time I got on the highway, I played Highway to Hell, and then Back in Black came on, because I had to drive myself all the way up to Barboursville, West Virginia, and that's about a 40-minute drive from here, I want to say. And I'm a slow driver, so it took about maybe 50 minutes to get here, or get there, because I took the back route to be safe. And I got to listen to Highway to Hell, because it was pretty scary and pretty cool. But once I got used to it, I realized it was just like another road, but faster. But that is my take on celebrating the 40th anniversary, or 40th birthday, if you will, of the iconic AC/DC album, Back in Black. I know this is an incredibly long sit down and talk video, and I have stuttered quite a lot. Please look past that because I don't feel like editing and don't feel like redoing this video, because you only get to enter this monumental date once, and I did it during this video. So thank you for watching. Please have a great day. If you're listening to this on the 40th anniversary of Back in Black, blast the shit out of that music. Blast that whole damn album all day on repeat on whatever device you got. Your phone, your tablet, your MP3 player, a CD, a cassette, an 8-track, or a vinyl. Or even if you listen to Spotify or YouTube, blast the shit out of it. Anything. You see, I do know about all of them. I know how to work them all, too. I was raised by like I said, I was raised in a family, I didn't say that, I was raised in a family of people that taught us how to do everything, from DVD players to VHS players to everything. That's why I know how to do a little bit of everything. Landlines, all of it. But with that being said, happy 40th birthday, Back in Black, and to all you AC/DC fans out there who listen to this, please let me know if you listen to the entire video, because I know it's almost 30 minutes long. It's like 2 minutes away from being 30 minutes long, so have a great night, great day, whatever it is. It is now 12:25 a.m. Don't know what time this will upload. Goodbye.